I remember when I thought life was all about fun. I was selling drugs on the corner. I used to carry a gun. I had to listen to my mother because my father wasn't around. I respected my...
Welcome to episode 25 of Peep Game TV. I'm your man, Shadi, and special thanks and courtesy to Breakbeats Media, Bill Bellamy and Yaki Awakened. Yaki dropped some jewels about how the foods that we eat, can affect our health and other areas of our life. He also dropped some jewels about how pharmaceutical companies have a stake in what we eat. Check the footage out. Share this, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe.
But I was on the nutrition path a long time ago. Like I wasn't as savvy as you. I'm not an herbalist and all that, but I was like, yo, man, I'm getting down with these blueberries. I'm getting down with these mangoes. I'm getting down with these peaches. I'm getting down with, watermelon. Like watermelon, people don't realize is such a great fruit for us.
It's one of the best fruits. And what's crazy is if you look at you have something called melanin, or what everybody call melanin. It's really called melanin. Then you have watermelon or watermelanin. And if you look at the pigmentation of watermelon, or you just look at the pigmentation of the blueberries you was talking about, each different color connects with the spectrum of what they would call the electrical magnetic radiation frequency of the sun, and it feeds these foods different types of phytonutrients that rebuilds, or what you would call, our molecular structure. For instance, watermelon have something called lycopene in it, and that's what makes it red. Same thing for tomatoes, same thing for the figs, same thing for oranges. This is called lycopene. Lycopene is nothing but melanin of watermelons. And if you look at a blueberry, a blackberry, they have a melanin content in it, or what you would call chromophores. All right, chromophores. It's just the melanin of these different fruits, called anthocyanins. And if you start looking at these different colors and pigmentations, they actually have a frequency to them, and this frequency raises your vibrational hertz of your body, and it keeps you operating in basically, because we all are God. We are self-reflecting mirrors and images of God. That's why if you read in the scriptures, it says that we were made after His image and after His likeness. Well, if you look at that, we have those same type of reflections in us, and in order to reach those heights, though, you have to vibrate at a certain frequency. Tell me why when you eat fruits they bring you to that frequency. Bro, every fruit have a angstroms of energy. So for instance, if you look at fruits, they vibrate and they yield literally 12,000 angstroms of energy when you eat every 10 units of their fruit. When you do vegetables, they yield 9,000 angstroms of energy every time you eat that vegetable, 10 units of that vegetable. When you get down to meat and things and beans and stuff like that, and grains, just very what you would call thick, gooey types of stuff, dense food, 3,000 angstroms of energy. So 3 all the way up to 9, you done skip. That's 6,000, 600,000. Because remember, every time you go up, you have to go 10. Then from the 10, you got to go 100. From the 100, you got to go 1,000. Wow. From the 1,000, you got to go 10. Just like in math. So we literally talking about hundreds of thousands of angstroms of energy over the actual meats and over the corn and over these heavy, dense foods, when you can just eat light and keep that vibrational energy. And the good thing about fruits and vegetables, not only do you build the molecular structure when you eat them, because they replace all the things that you're getting rid of anyway through that recycling that we go through, or what they call cellular mitosis or cellular meiosis or apoptosis, all these big old words. we can just keep it simple. Right. You're not only replacing the cellular structure, but you're feeding the soul. And a lot of people don't know how to feed the spirit and the soul. A lot of people are just feeding their flesh. But when you feed your spirit and your soul, it does something to you. It energizes you. Wow. It makes you think more. It makes you become an actual critical thinker. It makes you think about yourself. You start looking around and you want to do more for your environment. Fruit did that to me. Meat never did that to me. Dairy products never did that to me. Correct. Drugs, drinking and smoking never did that. What's crazy is this. I have metal from here to here. I've been shot 4 times. I had my ribs broke. I had my jaw dislocated and fractured. I've been shot 4 times. I've been stabbed right here. I almost died of eternal bleeding. And the reason why I say eternal is because we are eternal people. A lot of people say internal. But I went through all of that. I used to be really a hater for my brother. You know, if I see my brother wearing the wrong thing, or he in my hood doing things that I ain't tell him to do, it wasn't my hood in the first place.
Right.
Like, I'll be ready to be violent. I was a very violent person against people that look just like me. Did you know after I went vegan, or what I'm gonna say plant-based, man, I ran over a squirrel one day on an accident. Man, I pulled over and cried, man. Same person that used to be fighting, brawling, getting stabbed. I'm talking about spilling blood. I'm very vicious person to my brother. Man, I went vegan, went plant-based. Man, I hit a squirrel. Man, it broke my heart.
Because you. The thing about that, we can laugh, but in reality, what you're saying is you found a different purpose.
I really did. Through the food, man. Through the food, showing you that food is psychological. It's psychology. And you can tell. You can sit somebody down in front of me, right? And they can tell me they diseases, and I'm talking about to the T. I can tell you what they've been eating. I can tell you what they've been eating. Soon as they say I got diabetes, I can tell you, oh, okay, you've been on dark meat. Soon they tell me I got breast cancer. Oh, you've been on inorganic meat. You've been on inorganic fruits and vegetables. You eat a lot of dairy products. That's a lot of lactic acid built up. That's a lot of carbonic acid, uric acid built up. You suffering from metabolic acidosis from your diet. Oh, I'm schizophrenic. Oh, your gut is messed up from the foods you eating. You're going through putrefaction in your gut. You have parasites, probably toxoplasma that done passed the blood and brain barrier that you got from your fish. So all of these different type of psychological ailments that we are suffering from, and all these different physical ailments that we suffering from, is literally coming from the food that is being put in the communities by the big food industry. But when you start really studying the big food industry and who owns them, they're actually controlled by the pharmaceutical companies. So it's this rat race, or this cycle, or this matrix that we're going through. Let's feed them the food to get them sick. Once they get sick, let's provide them the antidote to make them sicker. Once we provide them the antidote that make them sicker, let them die. And we can make money off their insurance. We can make money off their death. You see that? And our whole population control eugenics program will still be in full effect. Because
what can we do about the death of our youth? The drug slinging, gang banging, sirens ringing. Is it the cops or the ambulance? Did someone die, or is someone going to jail? This seems to be the fate of where we live. This place we call hood, urban section.
Moroccan power is reclaiming our nationality and establishing our 50 states according to international law. Moroccan love is creating peace within our states by not stealing, killing, or taking from each other. Moroccan unity is each and every one of us standing together for one common cause, and that is to reclaim our land and restore our heritage. Moroccanism is the only way to defeat racism.
Think about it, man!